Okay. I may be exaggerating this a little bit, but I think I'm still convinced. As we know, Buddhism came from India, historically. I think the Indian philosophy or whatever thinking system for the Indian approach, for Indians, so this is how I should put it, for the Indians, finding the truth is so important. Yes, the truth. So, if you, not only Buddhism, like many different schools of Hindu philosophy, if you read, it's one way or another, it's trying to find the truth of, like, is this the ultimate? Is there something behind? Is this what we see? Is this the ultimate? There must be something behind. So this question was a big quest for them. So I think this is quite important to know, because things like morality, ethics, is just a tool, again. It's just a tool to use to find this truth. So it does, at the end of the day, whether you are moralistically or ethically good or not really doesn't matter. Whether you have found the truth or not really matters. Of course, I think the Indians are losing it in big time, but this is very much within the Indian sort of blood, kind of. It's there. Like many times I think that sort of the chaotic, very relaxed, it doesn't matter, everything is some kind, all this kind of stems from thinking that, well, everything is an illusion anyway, so, why work hard, kind of. For instance, and just to contrast, this, again, I could be completely wrong. For the Chinese ancestors, obedience, even the ancestors, not to upset them, to live within the code of conduct by the ancestors. So these are kind of important for them. Okay, now I'm telling you this because we are talking about technique here. We are talking about, really, as I said earlier before the break, one of the most important technique. And when we are talking about a technique, obviously we are talking about a goal, right? And therefore, we are obviously talking about having not reached this goal. So we are talking about a problem also. The fundamental problem in the all, fundamental problem that is identified by the Buddha is none other than distraction. Just constant distractions we have. Now, of course, it doesn't help because there are industries who is producing things to distract you. And then, of course, as I said earlier, there's these 6 different kinds of love that we have. We want the distractions ourselves. We are longing. Without the distractions, distractions have to numb us. Until if there's no distractions, there's no numbing device. And when we are not numb, it's unbearable. Things are unbearable, especially the truth. So, fundamental problem is the distractions. Always constant distractions. So therefore, all the Buddhist technique, whatever it is, however it appears, they are fundamentally an opposite of distractions, which is mindfulness. Some are more, and depending on what kind of people, what kind of problem, what kind of, capacity, different kinds of methods are used. One of the great master of a Mahamudra tradition, and he was also practicing Mahasandhi, he went to Yarlung Shelra. There's a place in Tibet, Yarlung Shelra, and there's a Guru Rinpoche statue that is supposedly like replica or a, some like exactly look like Guru Rinpoche. And he went with many of his disciples, and he told all these disciples, today is a very special day. We are in front of this Guru Rinpoche statue, which is blessed by Guru Rinpoche himself, who looks, and basically this statue is none other than the Guru Rinpoche. It's very important now, the disciples, take a vow, pledge, whatever you can. 100,000 Guru Rinpoche mantra, becoming vegetarian, whatever. You guys do whatever you can within your capacity. And all the disciples, they took vows and pledges. Finally, when it is his own turn, he has this very old mala that he has been counting, mantras. He took it out from his hand and he said, until today, I have been distracted by this. I'm going to throw this. From now on, I'm not going to chant anything. So, as you can see, different levels, different capacities, different, for different capacities, for different people, distractions. Therefore, meaning of mindfulness is different. Now, calling the Guru is therefore fundamentally a very important practice of mindfulness. I want you to know that. I want you to know that this is a practice of mindfulness, not a practice of whining. Or, even, like, I don't know, some kind of a complaining or supplication or whatever that we think. But, it, when you read the text, it's beautifully composed, and whining and complaining and, is the only language that we know how to speak. So it's there, whining, complaining, all of that. Beginning with the Lama Cheno. As you read Lama Cheno, this is what you have to think. It's a very, very interesting method, actually. At glance, you think it's like telling a Lama, hey, Lama, please know me. Here I am. Kind of, like reminding him to think of you, right? But in the actual fact, the moment you think about the Lama has already known you. That's it. Job is finished. You don't have to receive the sort of reply. The moment you think about the Lama has known you already. Yeah, but, as I said, this is the only language we speak. So we say, Lama Cheno, please know me, understand me, pay attention to me, think of me. Here I am. All of this is fine. I shall also give you, as we go through, I shall also give you a lung. Okay, I received this lung from Jamgön Khyentse Rinpoche and also Kalu Rinpoche, from whom I have received all the teachings of the Champa lineage. And he was also considered the Jamgön Kongtrül Lodrö Thaye's incarnation. Okay, Namo Guru Lama Jamgön Jinlab Guru ne Joshing ni Jungi Guru Katma in Benin Lama le Lab Sanji Jena me Tachu being a shedan and be Anthony Lama Chin Zawi Lama Chin of 2G, there's Nudum Namni China Jindu, Zawi Lama Cheno. So, first few verses is basically calling the root Guru. Okay. Now, Guru is, as Guru. Who is Guru? All of that. That's it's a really big It's a very big subject. Many categories. Now, like the symbolic gurus, outer guru, inner guru. At this point, see, when we talk about guru, I think our mind is accustomed to think in terms of a person, which is fine, which is not incorrect. But guru is not limited by just that, because ultimately guru is none other than the buddhanature. I'm sure this you have heard billions of times. So ultimately, it is your nature, your fundamental nature of your mind that is your guru. That is the what do you call it? The ultimate guru. That's your ultimate root guru. You don't have to look for it. You have it. By not remembering and by not calling him, he's not going to go away. By remembering him, by calling him and all of that, he's not going to become better. It's always as it is. It doesn't get better. It doesn't. It's you cannot improve it. Basically, it's What's the expression? So far, but so near yet so far, kind of thing. Always right in front of, always there with you, but not easy to recognize. And who made it not easy? Nobody. Your own habit, your own entanglement with all kinds of habits, distractions, your own distractions, constant distractions. It's very sad, because we only have a short life, 100 years, maybe the longest. That's not so long. And out of that, for many of us, half is gone. So the rest of this half of this half, we are going to sleep, I think, most of it. And then it's very sad, actually, that this short life is basically drifting getting distracted all the time. Yes, because of these distractions, it's, even though the ultimate guru is right in front of us, or it is there, it's difficult to understand, difficult to know. According to Tantrayana, the example is Tilla Marji Chapachindo. I think that maybe if I translate this, where there is a water, there is a moisture. That's how the Buddha nature is with us. Where there is a water, you cannot find part of the water that is not moisture, like part of the water that is dry, you cannot find. Where there is a water, there is a moisture. Likewise, where this Buddha nature is within us, not somewhere like this part is the Buddha nature and then the rest is not like that. Well, if you are really, according to the Tantrayana, It's not as if when you have love and kindness and like tolerance, then your Buddha nature is kicking. It's not just that. Even when you have the extreme emotion, extreme depression, like where there is a water, there is a moisture, even within that Buddha nature, not even 1 ounce less is there. Within the anger, within the jealousy, depression, whatever. That's how the Buddha nature is. Buddha nature. That's kind of the way the Buddha nature functions. But it's difficult. It's difficult to understand. Because none of it looks remotely like a Buddha. I'm giving this example. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Let's try. Like onion, eggs, potato, cheese, all those on the table, they don't remotely look like an omelette. Like this, you, me, remotely doesn't look like a Buddha. Remotely. But if you put together, if you do it properly, there, omelette. But very hard to believe if somebody is wagging an onion here, part of your omelette, or omelette, not even saying that. Very difficult to believe this. So that's your ultimate guru, not the omelette. That's the ultimate guru. And Jamgön Kongtrül Rinpoche actually has the calling of this ultimate guru in 3 stanzas. Lama yoba me bachino tata chugi long ne sich daso lengi kuwa cham dechin tabi shindu long lama chenre zi wang cham yosa longki long ne sich ridu dunga tsene sich kamsung karo dong tu lama pema yung ne cham ngaya pema yung ne sich nitu chamen pembang nyam ta tuji nyurwa nitu chom lama tuji nyurwa nitu chom zos. Calling the guru, the ultimate guru, in 3 different, calling the ultimate guru of 3 aspects. Calling the Dharmakaya guru again, remember I was telling you the whining and this is the only language we know, so he's using it here. Not only whining, but naming, labeling is another one. That's a big one actually. We can only speak by using names or label. So the Dharmakaya guru is referred here, labeled as Amitabha Buddha. So just please understand me, know me, Lama Guru Amitabha. This is quite interesting. He always has a place. Very beautiful. So poetic, and he was a great poet. So, these lamas, they each have a place where they can look out to us, so to speak. So he's asking the Lama Guru Amitabha, they all have, okay, from this window, can you please look at me? So Lama Guru Amitabha, please look upon me from the state of the Dharmakaya, state of extremeless Dharmakaya. And then is followed by a supplication. Supplication for a specific sort of blessing or a specific attainment. Okay, so Guru Amitabha, please look upon me from the state of the Dhammakaya, so that you see, if you know the Guru Dharmakaya, the moment you know the Guru Dharmakaya, you know that all this samsara is just an illusion. Then you are liberated. So please make me know that. And poetically, this blessing is referred as Sukhavati, the land of the Amitabha. Okay, the ultimate Guru's second aspect, which is the clarity or the compassion, which is symbolized by the Avalokiteshvara, is called upon in the next verses. And then the ultimate Guru, the third aspect of the ultimate Guru, which is the union of clarity and emptiness, which is symbolized or labeled as Pamakara or Guru Rinpoche, we call upon him. Yeah, and by that, okay, so the third aspect is what we call Nirmanakaya Guru, which is then a Guru that uses the language of samsara, basically. So just note there, obviously, because it was written in Tibet, asking the blessing to protect all the Tibetans. Is it translated like that? All the Tibetans? Yeah? It doesn't, yeah, you can change that to Polish or whatever. Really, it doesn't. Okay, so then comes all what we call manifestation gurus. So let's discuss a little bit about manifestation gurus. The ultimate guru we have discussed. To understand that, then we have manifestation guru, that which we can, within our capacity, we can conceive. Yeah. That's totally depend on different recipients. Like in the sutra, there's a account that talks about when once Buddha coughed, 4 different people heard 4 differently. A physician heard it as a ailment. A monk heard as a reminder of all compounded things are impermanent, decaying. The other 2 I forgot, so I don't want to bluff here. One of them is an arhat, and he heard it differently, like maybe the other one is the bodhisattva, who heard it as some compassionate. Anyway, so different beings hear different things. So this is how the Nirmanakaya, manifestation Buddha, works. And this is also the beginning of when the path becomes complicated. The reason why it becomes complicated is because a certain amount of your emotion is allowed for the time being to be used as a path. That's why it becomes a problem. Like Shandadeva said, there's one ignorance. In order to dispel the suffering, so that one can dispel the suffering, for the bodhisattvas who is dwelling on the path, there's one ignorance that one should not be, one should keep it for a while. And that is ignorance of thinking. There is an enlightenment. So path becomes very complicated here. It's becoming complicated not because of the path, but because of the problem that path has to counter. Okay. So yes. So the emotion, as much as it is a defilement that needs to be purified, many of the emotions also become temporarily something, not only the emotion, logic, the way we think, this becomes part of the path. So that's why the lineage becomes important, because many reasons. One simple reason is we like to know where these things comes from, the authenticity of the path. So because we have that kind of emotion, then we have concepts such as, in order to authenticate the path, we also have the lineage. This is nothing to do with the ancestor worshipping, by the way. Okay. And also because these lineage gurus have left so much teachings that really has proven to liberate so many sentient beings, that's why we also have appreciation, of course. Okay, so all these gurus' names I'm going to go kind of quickly, because main part of the teaching comes from the second part of the this Lama Jamgön. 그래서 라마 예시 소제치노 가주 대신도는 대된다서 시비처럼 타비 정치 진보도 까들이 주비 라마친 중주 예시로는 다주 주부는 하던 또비니 마셔와 저지. So there's the calling the yeshi tsogel, and also the lineages of the treasure teachings and oral teachings. Kunchen timeo zachin tundubi yongidon zi kadar kong zachin zon nangji taru chimba 저지. Yeah. So that's longchenpa. 냐메 조호엽 zachin gadin haji yuni toni ingo 장sem jula chebo 저지. So the next one is Adisha Dipamkara and his disciple, for instance, Domtempa. 도초 말미다 숨진 대신도지 대동 차진 주군이 세버죠. So that's the Marpa Mila and Gambopa. And then Jitemajo Kamapachino Kajabrodu is Shogun Denijumato. Nasam Kusum Chavajo. This is a specific call to the Karmapa. Kaju Cheji Chunjechin, Rananta Pishin, Nagapi, Tubasan, Yamto Taruchim Bazuji. That's calling the Guru lineages of the 4 greater and the 8 lesser Kaju lineage. Gurus. Jizun Komana Machino, Konde Irmedonizish. Namda Takum Jesum, Sami Lamshodrapatuji. That's calling the Gurus of the Sakya lineage. The five principal Sakya Lamas. Nyame Shangba Kajushin, Namda Sanjishin is Tabdron Tsujun, Milop Sungju Yapatuj, calling the Gurus of the Shangba Kaju lineage. Chupchen Tangtong Jebachin, Tome Tujidon is Demet of Tujum, Ungsem Randu was and almost like showing a special interest from the Jamgön Kongtrül and Jamgön Khyentse Rinpoche had a very special interest in this specific master called Tangtong Gyalpo, calling him. There's just all of these, we can go, we are talking about all the lineages of the, Tibetan Buddhism. So, stories, the history, the teachings are just so big. Tangtong Gyalpo is a very special. Of course, everyone here, they are special. But I think tantric practitioners have one very big interest. They are very excited about They're very excited about magnetizing is maybe not the right word. They're very excited about seducing Lung and Sem, prana and the mind, wind, the air and mind. They are so excited about it. See, for us, it's the opposite. When we see a beautiful, long, wise bear, right? then we get seduced by that. Little do we realize that that image of the, the form, the beard, the color, all of that is nothing other than your own air and mind, your prana and your mind doing this, reflecting it. So what you have to learn is to seduce that prana and the nadi. But because we don't know how to do that, so we get seduced by the object. Tantric people are so excited about this. Maybe seduce is not good enough word. Seduce, subjugate, make it yours, basically. Yes. Tantric people are not interested at all in making the object theirs. The Tantric people are interested very much in making the appearance of the object there into theirs. It's called Nangwa Wangdu. Nangwa Wangdu. In this Tangtong Gyalpo, he was very well known for this. Real life story is beautiful. Kind of a very impossible person. Like, people can't ask him, like, when they meet him in the street, on the street, people can't ask him, like, where you come from or where you going. It really annoys him, this kind of question. There's a story about, like, one time he got so annoyed because somebody asked that. He said, can't you see? I'm coming from my behind. Like that. He actually wrote the Tibetan opera was written by him. Actually initiated by him. In order to do the fundraising to build bridges. So really, social, worker, very important one. And then next, another specific interest by Jamgön Kongtrül Lodrö is calling the Pajik-tamba Sangye, Patamba Sangye. Well, but this is also actually one of the very important teaching vehicle in Tibet, together with the Patamba Sangye, and the next one is Machik Labdrön. These two basically is the main, one of the main 8 chariot of Buddhism in Tibet. Pajik-tamba Sangye chen lerab to be in Jubi chen, then the chome chen, Machik Labdrön chen, Shera Pachino, Dadzin. The next one, Torpo Sangye, Gyönchen Torpo Sangye, which is one of the great expounder of the teachings on buddhanature in Tibet. Gyönchen Torpo Sangye, Namgön Chodin, Poyo, Podra Dechen, Gutop, Jizun Taranata Chen, another great master who expounds the teachings on the buddhanature, Taranatha. Jizun Taranatha Chen, Namsun Pony, Doji Sanam Gamet, Jalu Kaju to Zoji, Giant Chenzo, Chenyi Shirong, Michel in Besson, Sharam, Yosatribu, Jazzer Niron, Tilungton to Nathan, Junipum, Payment on Holling Bachin, they don't remember one is Jadan Jazz Combator, Dagi on Zoji. 3 verses are dedicated to calling his guru and his friend. Giant Chense Wangpo, with 3 different names. And then, Dzongsar Khyentse Rinpoche, Jamgön Kongtrül Lodrö Thaye. So next 3 verses are special calling to himself, Jamgön Kongtrül Lodrö Thaye, with 3 different names. Okay. Next, Tinchen Lama Chen, Jizu Deshin and Rangri Chogu Rangri Chen, Tsechi Sangye Drupa Zoji is the according to one's own root guru, whoever happened to be. And there is other addition later, composed by later masters, adding whoever their guru lineage is. Okay, so we take a break, and then when we come back, we will do the second part.